Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you a couple of articles. Will Trump be muzzled? Judge faces critical gag order choice. The Hill. NBC News, Manhattan judge could issue a gag order silencing Trump. Newsweek, Donald Trump gag order leaves Republicans outraged and insanity. I believe what's going to take place is that his attorneys will either block or prevent that, or there's going to be some type of appeal because you're talking about a presidential candidate. You cannot silence a presidential candidate. All of this is political anyway. Everybody knows this has nothing to do with the rule of law. So you cannot silence a political candidate by creating a crime that relies on a federal criminal act that didn't exist. So what took place was New York prosecutors, Manhattan DA, found some type of loophole where a statute that was a misdemeanor in New York became a felony if Trump committed an FEC violation, which, by the way, he didn't commit. So the Manhattan DA believes that Trump committed campaign finance violations, but the actual government body that looks at campaign finance violations stated Trump did not. Anyway, you had a DA running on getting Trump, a district attorney of New York running and campaigning on getting Trump. This should be thrown out immediately. This is purely political. They despise him. They'd be actually better served being honest and say, look, we despise Trump. We're just using Democrats in New York, Tammany Hall, modern-day Tammany Hall, to go after our direct political rivals and interfere in 24. And they're probably going to indict him with the special counsel. They'll probably indict him in Georgia. It'll be 3 indictments, 3 arrests. And it won't matter. And each indictment, Trump will grow in popularity, and Democrats will be like, what's happening? But they've created this apoplectic frenzy. They're like sharks circling a cage, but the cage just keeps getting, wider and wider and more impenetrable. So it's like they don't know what to do with themselves. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The judge ruling on that Trump must be silenced through a gag order, that is not even possible. His attorneys have already tried to dismiss this case, so they're filing a motion to dismiss. But now you're going to get Congress involved. Congress and James Comer and Jim Jordan are already involved. They've basically prevented the conviction from even taking place because Alvin Bragg, the DA, has to testify eventually before Congress. Did he speak to a Hillary Clinton super PAC that Michael Avenatti was working alongside? So Michael Avenatti, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, did he or Cy Vance, the Manhattan District Attorney, or did prosecutors have any relationship at all through intermediaries with a Hillary Clinton super PAC that is Daily Mail, all of these, Politico, all of these publications have reported that many Clinton advisors, and I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee for the Democratic Party. I really do. And if she wins Georgia and Arizona, she could become president. But see, this is all about trying to get Republicans in Georgia and Arizona not to vote for Trump. And it's all about Trump's foreign policy, which he opposes endless military conflict and wars. That's a big part of what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, that's another story. There's a reason the Lincoln Project, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people vote Democrat, okay? But anyway, the judge could possibly issue the order. Trump would not abide by it. He would dare the judge to do something about it, and it would cause a complete fiasco in terms of American politics because you would be essentially going after a presidential candidate with only Democrats. So Democrats would be going after the Republican nominee in 24, the person who's far and away the number one choice for the Republican Party. and then silencing that person after a fabricated, contrived accusation in a court of law. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, and become part of a newsletter there. If you want to support my work long-term, my Patreon is below, ladies and gentlemen. And to my super thank you, the new Patreons, thank you. If you enjoy my work, Patreon is below. And super thanks also. I should have a live stream tonight. I'm not sure. But he'll have the mugshot, ladies and gentlemen. He'll get fingerprinted. I explained prior to this segment, the Secret Service has already prevented handcuffs, a perp walk, jail time. So Rikers Island, for example, people are sent sometimes without even a trial, depending on the crime. And so they probably would have tried. They probably would have tried to do that. They probably would have tried to actually do that to Trump had he been simply a candidate. But the Secret Service, I mean, heaven forbid, he's not going to go to jail or prison because this is all complete nonsense. But if he, like, theoretically, if he went to prison or jail even, you would have the Secret Service alongside Trump. Not in this cell I was reading. It was like a Newsweek article. But there would be at least one Secret Service agent around him at all times, maybe outside the cell, and just around him throughout the day. But but that ain't happening. So what's taking place right now is something that Democrats did not want. They want to tarnish him, but see, what happens when you want to tarnish, when you want to ruin somebody, when you want to torment somebody, you can't hide behind this like idealism and virtue. There's no virtue in tormenting somebody, even if you think the person is a bully. So Democrats really enjoy acting in the most erratic, vicious, malicious, petulant manner because they think that Trump is such a bully and a monster and a menace. So any of the absurd stories, fake, phony, false news that's published about him, the allegations that prove not to be true, the fact that this was a purely political stunt that even attorneys on the left are like, yeah, this is probably not going to work out. People see through that. Democrats right now have misused the power they have. Democrats have a good deal of power. They have influence. But they're actually losing their grip on political influence in this country. It would seem that the opposite is true. It might be counterintuitive to say that Democrats are losing their influence if Trump was just indicted, but he raised like $4 to $5 million. His poll numbers have gone up. Everyone knows it's political. The rule of law has been bent and twisted and mangled to the point of, lunacy. And so now they have to double down. What happens to a gambler in Vegas or Atlantic City that is like a compulsive, a person that can't control himself? Well, okay, double down. Okay, oh my God, and then, okay, the mortgage. Okay. So they are now desperate. And when I say they're desperate, they've reached a point of diminishing returns. So if the judge says, the gag order, it's like, well, he's a presidential candidate. You're now trying to silence a presidential candidate from speaking about how unjust his treatment is by his direct political rivals. They impeached Trump. Because they said he went after his direct political rival for one ellipsis in a phone conversation, which they're going to try to get him on a phone conversation also in Georgia. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back in a couple of hours. To the new members and new subs on this channel, thank you so much. Tell your friends about this channel, people, and share every segment. Thank you so very, very much. I'll be back right away. Thank you.